have had it all. We could have had it all.
For those burning issues, get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join those burning issues, get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join us. Just get full details every week as we bring you clearer pictures of happenings around the world as the editor picks the latest information. Editor's Pick. Join us.
Good morning and welcome to the first episode of Editor's Pick for the year 2024. We've resumed fully and hope to have you on our screens every Monday at 11 a.m. I am Akilachi KJ. Thank you for joining us this morning on Editor's Pick, where we give you all the trending topics that have happened across the nation in the week gone by. So stay tuned and just sit back and relax as I give you stories one after the other that we have lined up for you this morning. And our first story, we start with Rivers State Governor swearing in 16 permanent secretaries last week. So Rivers State Governor Sim Manaya Fubara last week inaugurated 16 permanent secretaries to address vacancies in ministries lacking administrative heads. During the brief ceremony, Governor Sim Fubara emphasized to the new permanent secretaries the importance of avoiding involvement in politics. He urged them to view their appointments as a call to duty, dedicated to supporting his administration in delivering good governance and other democratic dividends to the people. Now, presiding over the swearing-in event, Governor Sim Fubara highlighted that the appointed bureaucrats were carefully selected from a substantial pool of qualified candidates numbering about 20,000. He emphasized that their selection was based solely on merit. The governor urged the newly appointed permanent secretaries to consider their roles as sacred duties and encourage them to steer clear of political activities. Additionally, the governor assured the state's civil servants of a conducive working environment. Now, following the ceremony, official vehicles were presented to the newly appointed permanent secretaries. Let's take a look at the video.
From the pool of directors in the various ministries, Governor Fubara said they were choosing not out of political considerations, but because of their competence so that they can offer greater service to the state. The governor noted that most of the ministries had operated without proper administrative heads, and their appointment will make it possible for them to take charge as administrative heads while contributing their quota to advance policies of his administration that is charting a new course. Governor Fubara later directed the head of Rivers State Civil Service, Dr. George Waike, to hand over official cards to all the newly sworn-in permanent secretaries.
So it's not just being lucky to be among the ones that are chosen to be permanent secretary at this very critical time of our government, but living up to it. You were not picked based on political grounds. It was purely that a good number of you have what it takes. A good number of you have been manning some of these ministries, and we thought it wise that it will be proper. We'll give you that full responsibility to become heads so that we can achieve the purpose of our government. We have a lot of things we have promised our people. We have assured them that our government is focused in terms of better security here. Done. We left our own the work you
Briggs
So this is saying a huge congratulations to all the newly sworn in permanent secretaries. And now moving away from Rivers State stories, let's go to the federal scene. The outrage over the rising insecurity in the country grew last week Thursday as stakeholders demanded tough actions by the federal government against kidnappers. Those who advised the federal government on the kidnapping epidemic included the Supreme Council for Sharia, South governors, residents of affected communities, and the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS. Now, abductions, which were previously restricted to the northwest part of the country, have in recent times spread to other parts of the country, including Lagos, Ogun and Delta states, as well as the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Now, the crisis came to a head last week when bandits took their battles to the FCT when they kidnapped 23 people in the Buari area of the Federal Capital Territory. As part of the efforts to tackle the menace, the federal government on Wednesday warned against raising funds for ransoms. Now, expressing concern about the abduction pandemic or epidemic, the South governors on Thursday urged the federal government to do more in management of security in the country. At the meeting on Thursday in Benin, Edo State, which was presided over by the new chairman of the group, Governor Godwin Obaseki, the governors noted that the meeting, which was the first in the new dispensation, became necessary to address and proffer solutions to the critical challenges facing the region. Also in a communique read by Obaseki, the governor said the meeting was held at a critical time in the history of Nigeria as the country faces enormous challenges. The governor said, "It's against this backdrop that the South region must redefine its place and roles in the economic development of Nigeria and for the benefit of our people." Now, the governors also promised to engage the federal government on the development of key infrastructure in the region, particularly roads, rail development, and the decentralization and rehabilitation of seaports in the region, as well as management of security in the country at large. Now, also the Supreme Council for Sharia in Nigeria on Thursday urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to deploy full range of resources in the country's arsenal against elements that are bent on fueling insecurity nationwide. The Vice President of the Council, Dr. Bashir Umar, spoke to State House correspondents after the closed-door meeting with Tinubu at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, and he said the delegation asked him to expedite action to cushion the effect of the hard economic decisions that were taken, and also requests that he brings out everything that's in the arsenal to face the problem of insecurity and to also achieve food security. Now, on the part of the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, they called for a declaration of a state of emergency on the security situation in the country. And still in line with the insecurity, especially in the FCT, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has set to launch a Special Intervention Squad, SIS, to curb the activities of kidnappers in some parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. He said the operations that are special, when launched, would be deployed to all areas in the FCT. Now, for weeks now, bandits have been kidnapping and killing residents of the Buari Area Council.
Can we have one of the drone pilots to come and run the commentary there? Rosie Drew, come and run the commentary. Your grandma, where they talk there, me, I don't sabi. Assist guard, arm drone. This assist guard arm drone is a drone that is carrying the NATO standard GPMG, firing 5.56 by 45 mm ammunition. The drone has the capacity to fly up to 1,500 feet above ground level and fire and have a range of about 3 kilometers from point of launch. The drone is an attack drone that can fire a burst of 100 rounds in 2 minutes. It will cover 3 kilometers to and fro in 4 minutes. The drone will carry out its firing capability. Having carried out the mission, it will return home automatically for unloading again. This drone is produced in Turkey. It is carrying, just like I said, the GPMG. It is an attack drone. Coordinates of where you want to attack can be fixed on the drone, and the drone will automatically and autonomously carry out its attack. The drone is used in collaboration with a surveillance drone. However, this particular drone has 2 cameras on it. One camera is the gun camera. The gun camera has the capability of locking on the target. And once the target is locked on, you cannot escape the fire from the gun. The drone camera will give you the general view of the area you are. It has a moving map on the ground control system. This is one of the drones we are operating. The Nigerian police operate 3 types of drones. The Ulti Transition is a fixed-wing drone that can cover up to 150 kilometers. It is a fixed-wing drone, but it's purely surveillance. We have the Orion drone, which is also
The video you just watched was the special launch of the special investigative project by the IGP Kayode Egbetokun for the yet to be launched SIS squad set to curb kidnapping activities in the Federal Capital Territory and other parts of the country. And now, speaking on ransom, the statement by the federal government saying that they discourage the payment of ransoms and crowdfunding for ransoms. This comes at the heels of a social media report where a family of 5 sisters and their father were kidnapped in Nigeria and ransoms were being demanded. And the families and well-meaning Nigerians took to social media to crowdfund for their ransoms. I mean, I don't know, has it gotten this bad that we have to come outside to the public space to crowdfund for ransoms? This move, many Nigerians have said, would encourage the menace of kidnapping, seeing that these kidnappers are well aware of what's happening in the social space as well, and would say that, okay, since people are crowdfunding, it encourages them to keep on with this disturbing act of kidnapping in the country. So the Nigerian government has come out to place a ban, or would I say discourage vehemently, the act of crowdfunding for ransoms to be paid. But on the flip side, what is the fate of people being kidnapped? If your loved one is being kidnapped or has been kidnapped, this is not a time to tell them how to behave or what to do. They are frustrated. They are in dire straits at that moment. So let's see what the police, I think the police has everything to do when it comes to ransom payment and receiving. Even the banks, I mean, one of the headlines this morning says that experts are saying that the banks are also complicit in this act because some ransoms are being paid with cash, but